Next up, we got, this is a fucking fantastic series by my pal Shane McCarthy. All hail Megatron. This series is money in the bank. The whole concept behind this series, and I'll show off these cool sort of these cool alternative covers. They have, I think, 3 different style covers for each issue they put out. I've been enjoying these sort of more retro support commies covers.
Nice.
A lot of fun stuff. Basically, the concept behind it is just like it sounds. All hail Megatron. The Decepticons come to Earth. There's no Autobots to be seen of, and they are kicking the shit out of humanity. Sparkplug is around as a general, and in this particular issue, we get reintroduced to Spike. Absolutely fantastic. If you have any love of the Transformers at all, Shane has been nailing it. I'm not just saying this because I know the guy and he's really nice and he let me stay in his room once in San Diego when I had no money. Honest, I'm not. It's just fucking fantastic. His writing career has been fairly solid so far, but right now, man, Shane McCarthy is nailing this. I'll just show you a little bit of the insides here because the art is absolutely swell by this Guido Guidi? I don't know the heck how to say the guy's name, but he's producing some sweet art. Phenomenal. One of the things I like most about this series, reintroducing Cup, fantastic reintroduction. One of the things I like most about this series so far is that it's dealing out harsh adult violence, but in a very tasteful way. When they show Decepticons opening up in a crowd, there aren't arms flying around and blood's trailing everywhere and entrails all over the place. They're showing mass destruction, but like I say, tastefully so, and that's rarely seen. I think the Autobots in the Transformers universe tend to work best when the Autobots are the underdogs, and that's exactly what's going on here. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the best moment in all of Transformers history is in the Transformers movie, the original cartoon, when they're all getting their ass kicked, and who shows up? Optimus Prime to save the day. It couldn't have happened unless they were getting their asses kicked, and this whole series is about, the Autobots are down on their luck. Underdogs, exactly where they should be. This book, honest to God, is a 9 out of 10 for me. Abso-fucking-lutely fantastic. Shane nails the reintroduction of Spike, a character I could never care about whatsoever. But by the end of this book, holy fuck is that guy cool. Good job, Shane. You're an idiot if you don't buy this book and you like the Transformers. That's what I got to say about that. Or at least you're not very smart. Or you don't know about comic books. Should I be meaner? Go back to idiot? You're an idiot! Yeah. Top 10 next up. Absolutely fucking fantastic. It's Top 10 Season 2. This isn't written by Alan Moore. This one's written by Xander Canada, a writer I quite love, a writer-artist I quite love. This great series back in the day called Replacement Gods. Top 10, the concept, is it's a giant metropolitan city that's occupants are all superheroes. Not just superhumans, but superheroes. Fantastic book with fantastic art. This current story arc, I believe, is only going to be 4 parts, as opposed to Alan Moore's 12-part story arc. But you got this beautiful art by Gene Haw, great concepts. Everything about this book is just fantastic. Now, I'm not going to say that this is as good as it was when Alan Moore was writing it. I'd be lying if I said that. But it's damn close. And it's close enough that still, honest to God, I can say this is one of my favorite books of all time, top 10. Highly recommend. Brilliant art, beautiful storylines, well worth your time. About another 8.5, 9 out of 10 book. Next up, we got the batch of Wildstorm books for the moment. We got the Authority going on here. And in each issue of a Wildstorm book right now, we've got these through road story arcs that continue on in the next week's books, which I think is kind of a great idea if you're in all the Wildstorm stuff. But the problem is if you're not into a couple of the ancillary books, you might find yourself buying books that you don't want to buy to continue on with this little sub-story. And it's only like a 3-4 page story in the back. I think it's a cool idea as a reward for Wildstorm fans, but to make a guy like me have to pick up a book I don't want to, like Gen 13, kind of pisses me off. And I would prefer that they would actually just put an anthology book of all this stuff. I think that this post-apocalyptic Wildstorm universe is only partially working. It's not working so shit hot in the Authority. They're trying too hard to make it seem like things are too hard for the Authority, and they're way too powerful to be stuck in this shitty a situation when you compare them to the other characters in the Wildstorm universe. They've pigeonholed Apollo, the godlike Superman-like character, into this ridiculous, he needs to stay in outer space for some reason they haven't explained yet, because obviously he's the most powerful person on the team, they don't want him around. It's not an awful read, but I think they're forcing it too much to make things dark and depressing. Because, by contrast, you have things like Stormwatch and Wildcats, where things don't seem quite so bad or awful as they are in Authority. Again, good reads overall, but actually, these are much better than Authority so far. This doesn't seem so forced or hackneyed. Wildcats, by Christos Gage right now, is pretty good. In this particular issue, they go over the story of a character I quite like, actually. Good old Spartan here. And they get into the Jan Cole, John Colt stuff. They gloss over the whole Wildcats 2.0 stuff. I really enjoyed this issue, to be honest. It's nice to see a good, solid overview of the Wildstorm universe. But we'll see how much longer this whole thing can last, this whole world of post-apocalyptic Wildstorm stuff. It also has a good, solid... I quite enjoyed this backup because it seemed like more of a one-shot. And this was all about one of these characters from the... what the fuck do they call it thing on the cover here? The Number of the Beast storyline, where they introduced like this whole crazy World War II huge amount of sort of pulp fiction, pulp era superheroes. But unfortunately, it is going to cross over in a book that, you know, I don't really want to buy. I'm going to buy it anyways just to get the story. Not bad, but at first I was more down with the Wildstorm stuff overall. It is starting to get a little boring. I don't know how much longer they can drag this stuff out. And sales reflected. I don't even think one of these books is in the top 100. I think they got to move things back a couple of steps and get out of this weird restriction they placed in this post-apocalyptic universe. I can't give any Stormwatch book at this point more than 6 out of 5. If you're a giant Wildstorm fan, that particular issue of Wildcats I just mentioned had some great moments in it. You know, if you're a giant Wildstorm fan, you might find this stuff like around 6.5, 7 out of 10. But really, you have to be a giant fan of Wildstorm to be enjoying this stuff for the most part. This is the latest issue of Stormwatch. That was a fairly good self-contained story. But, you know, one self-contained story out of, what issue is this on now? Oh, it's on 16, but like I'm saying, Wildstorm stuff is kind of missing the ball at the moment. Next up, we got the Superpowers stuff. This is the end of the first chapter in Superpowers, the Alex Ross, Jim Krueger reinvention of all the superheroes from the 40s that are in the public domain. Absolutely fantastic this story was, and a great conclusion to it. If you're into alternative superheroes and characters from the 40s, this book is absolutely for you. The story is brilliantly well written. I think what I like the most about this is it's showing a solid contrast between the ideology of the 40s and the ideology of modern times, which is something you're kind of seeing as a theme in a lot of superhero comics right now, particularly like Avengers, Invaders, the 12, comics that focus on characters from back, in the golden age of sort of our modern times, the World War II era. Really, really intriguing stuff, and I'm enjoying this a lot. And they put out this $1 prelude issue with a lot of sketch art that sort of is leading into the second part of what's going on here. Absolutely worth your time. You're getting a lot of this beautiful Alex Ross sketch art, and is explaining things a little bit, and like I'm saying, setting the stage for the next chapter of stuff. And man, I mean, it's only $1, and you're getting all this wicked Alex Ross art that you're not going to get anywhere else. Absolutely worth your time. A little bit of preview in the back there of the stuff coming up. And then next up we got, this also ties into the whole Project Through Power stuff, Black Terror, which is, I believe is going to be a mini-series. Totally fantastic. I really, really enjoy this. This takes place basically right around issue 7 there of Project Through Powers, and this explores how the Black Terror is dealing with their world. This little moment here with U.S. Jones, absolutely fantastic moment. He's one of these other characters that have come back from... a lot of these characters from the 40s, they were held in this urn thing, this sort of weird magical artifact. And so what you've got is all of these characters from the 40s brought back to the modern world and having to deal with kind of the craziness of what the world has become in their absence. Fantastic stuff. I'm really, really enjoying this stuff. The next issue of this series to come out, the next mini-series from this series to come out is going to be The Death-Defying Devil, which should be out next week or any day soon now. Totally enjoyable. Really, really enjoying this stuff. And if you're enjoying Project Powers, Black Terror is absolutely for you.